Hey everybody, this is Joe. Thank you for watching my Giga-Texas construction update video. For today, I want to go over the fact that there are a lot of brand new 2026 permits for all of Giga-Texas. Now, unfortunately, it doesn't provide us all of the detail, maps, or site plan documents that we would all love to see. However, I'm able to put together enough information to kind of help put into context what all these permits are for and what we're seeing on the site. So let's discuss. This first permit, 2026-01-4460, is for the West Support Facility, Logistics Yard, and Parking. This may explain why we are seeing all of the cleanup of that contractor parking lot on the far southwest. You see in the upper left photo, the clean out and preparation for expansion of the material staging yard, which already has the conduits for lighting, and also some of the other changes here may be related to relocating the east warehouse on wheels to this side of the road. This is related to this permit, the private access road and drainage improvement, the river road extension along the southeast and east side of the property, plus a lot of the ground preparation work that is going on here for expansion in this east side of the site. We've been seeing some trenching and pipe installation around the east parking garage. This permit 2026-008670 is for a water line for fire protection that goes around the perimeter of the east parking structure. So this kind of explains what we are seeing underway today. Now, turning our attention to the east side, where over the last month or so I've been showing you a lot of land clearing, trailer movement, and equipment relocation. This is all related to not only that river road extension, but also preparing this entire site for future construction. This permit, 2026-007636, talks about production support area industrial facilities, and this is additive to what we already have with the main factory. Fortunately, with this particular permit, we have a companion document that's in the folder and another companion related permit with another document, both of which talk about the master site plans for Giga-Texas being modified. Now, you may recall the very first one was published in August of 2021, and it had a lot of the diagrams showing you what the main construction and what the intention was going to be for the entire site. That has been updated numerous times over the last 4.5, 5 years. And every time they have a major construction change to the site plan, it warrants a site plan update. And that is what we are seeing here. Now, we know that we're expecting a new Optimus factory. There's also been some other discussion of maybe some major construction projects here at the site in the future. So this is definitely something to keep track of. Shifting gears, this permit 004908, the dummy lab outside cathode, was filed with the city of Austin. This is supportive to the Travis County permit that I covered for the anthropomorphic test device, or ATD laboratory, which is being built just to the south of the crash test facility. These images show you what that construction site looks like right now, and I'd recommend you go back on my 6 February video to get additional details. The final two permits are related at 003395 and 96. This has to do with releasing the easement along the west and south parts of the site for water line installation. We've been seeing a lot of that work with caissons for this last several months. That work is ongoing now. Some of these recent images show you what that appears like. This is also related to work with caissons south of the Colorado River, and all of this is to help with improving the water treatment and the water drainage for the entire site and for future development. So there you have it, a lot of brand new permits filed just this year, and it has to do with much of the construction that is both visible now and also what I expect to be seeing over the next several months. I hope that you enjoyed this review and that it helps put into context what we are seeing. As always, thank you very much for your support. So let's get into the drone, fly around, and see what Giga-Texas looks like today. If you would like to support my efforts, please consider using these links, which will be in the video description. If you are interested in Tesla products, you can help yourself and support me by using my referral code. Don't forget to hit the like and subscribe buttons on my YouTube video, as this helps as well. Thank you. My drones are ready and raring to go. Let's go flying over Giga-Texas. beautiful time to fly here, and we're going to start off on the extreme far east side, mostly because I want to show you what this area looks like with the permits in mind. Now, this entire east side is being prepared for some future construction. We're going to see some items being moved all over the site for that. But at the bottom of the screen, you can see where they've cleared out part of the land. They've got a lot of concrete that's going to be cleared up with the Lippmann concrete crushing, which is on the far northeast. We'll see that later in the video. We see this large field here, more infill of dirt on the upper left of the screen, and that's being brought in to raise up the grade in that little depression. And in addition to that, we see some other items that are being prepared for movement away from this area. This is a great view of all of that dirt. I'm going to maneuver towards the factory a little, fly over part of the warehouse on wheels that's below the drone. I think that this is getting ready to be relocated. And here is the recycling center, and what it looks like right now. And if there is construction in this area, then this is going to have to be moved, as well as all of these workshops that you see at the center of the screen, which is where they are doing a lot of the pipe modifications for the manifolds, the water manifolds in Cortex 2. Of course, at the top of the screen is where we see more of the work on this large clearing and preparing for River Road to extend through this section around the trees at the bottom of the screen, and then over by the Colorado River, heading to the north towards the cathode building. This is a really great shot of all of the work that is being done here. More dirt is being brought in, and I will show you where some of that is coming from later in the video. A great shot along River Road and the kind of easement on the left. We talked about that with the permit. And as I maneuver back to look at the parking garage, you can see more of the trench work at the bottom of the screen, and also along this entire berm and drainage ditch on the right-hand side of the screen. And I think that this is all related to the other permits that we saw about with that fire water loop that's being put in. This is a great view of the material staging yard, the drainage down at the bottom of the screen next to Robotic Avenue. And as I kind of turn towards the north, see more of this trench work right along the west side of Robotic Avenue, with pipes being installed, and that work is continuing up towards that intersection. So I kind of fly back over the east warehouse on wheels just to give you a good view of what this appears like, and we can imagine this being relocated potentially in the near future. And as I mentioned, we'll talk about that a little later in the video. But I'll turn back towards the parking garage, looking over some of the contractor trailers at the bottom left, some of the pipes that are being installed into the trenching next to Robotic Avenue. And as I bring the drone down lower across this material staging yard, not only all the materials that I want to show you, but you can see this large trenching that's being done next to the helicopter pad and extending over to the wind tunnel. This looks to me, based on the pipes inside, as it's a conduit, so they may be adding electrical systems to that wind tunnel. You can see how it's kind of the trenching around the side of the lot on the left of the screen, but that may be powering up that wind tunnel and getting rid of that green generator trailer that has been there for quite some time. I'll keep the zoom in. We'll take a look at the east secondary entrance, some of the materials next to the wall that are being added in to the building. Some of that is Cybercab production equipment. And as I continue to pan along this side past this loading platform and these 4 cooling trailers, take a note with the arrow. This is a Cybercab exiting out of that door next to the 2 vertical tanks. That's the exit point of the factory and the production line for Cybercabs. Now, what we'll see is this cab heading to the south on Cyber Circle. It's going to get to River Road, and then it's going to proceed towards the west. A little later in the video, we'll pick up where it is coming over towards the end of line facility, and we'll discuss why they are doing this test with the Cybercabs coming out of the production exit point of the factory. So right now I'll zoom back out, show you some of the trench work that is being done here by the intersection of Cyber Circle and Robotic Avenue. See the fencing that has been put into place, the bottom center of the screen, and more of that excavation work that is going on to the east of there. As I fly along this south side of River Road, I'll just stay up at this altitude for right now. I wanted to show you all of the work that's being done to the south of the road, where that silt fence is and where they've done a lot of trenching. The caisson at the bottom of the center of the screen, and also some tunneling that goes underneath this intersection over to the other caisson, where you see the earthwork and the fill work that is underway right now. And I think all of this is related to those two permits that we talked about in the video intro. Now, as I come back a little lower towards this construction site, I'll give you a great view of what is going on. Essentially, they are filling in the rest of the trench and burying this large concrete vault that is many stories high under the ground and right next to the caisson. Here's what this looks like today. The workers give you a sense of the scale, and the remaining parts of the caisson at the bottom left of the screen with that green cone. But really a lot of frenetic activity here filling in this excavation, and I expect this to be completed by the end of the day, certainly by the time I get back for my next video. And the rest of it looks like it's preparing to wrap up this operation. Flying over Cyber Pond, coming back to the southwest corner, just wanted to show you a little bit of what's going on with this doorway. You can see that the gray doors are down, and they also have provisions for the doorway for the larger one as well. And that's another improvement that they've done to this part of the site. So I'm going to fly up towards the north next to the building here on the west side. As I was passing this kind of bin on the right, I thought I would stop briefly, show you what's going on. They are preparing to recycle a lot of this packaging, and we've seen that packaging coming in. Some of it is for production line equipment, and some of it is for battery structural packs that are brought in. This is a new excavation that's being done next to the west main entrance. Looks like they're doing some pipe work through the concrete in that section. We see two Model Ys exiting the factory right now, coming out of this exit point and down that ramp. And so production is definitely on today, and it looks like it is the premium Model Y day for construction. So I'm going to bring the drone up to a higher altitude. We'll get ready to cross over the highway and take a look at a lot of detail on the other side of the highway. Looks like the direct delivery center is getting ready for deliveries today. In fact, I came back later with a friend of mine from the Air Force Academy who he and his wife, Elizabeth, picked up their Model S Plaid as a direct delivery here at the factory. So that was really special for me to be able to share that with them. But that would be several hours after I flew here. For right now, I'm just showing you what is going on here, the activity at the South Superchargers, the vehicles coming along the roadway from the factory. And as we get closer to the Cyber Tunnel, I'm going to pick back up just following this white Model Y. Driving down the road is a Cybercab, and I decided that instead of continuing to fly to the south, I'm going to turn the drone around and let's chase it down and see what's happening with the Cybercab. Now, what we are seeing is testing for the production processes that would have the Cybercabs exiting the factory after production, driving themselves across the east side to the west side underneath the South Bridge along this road over the rumple strips, and then selecting one of these 4 sorting lanes. And as it arrives towards the north part, we're going to be met with employees. They usually do this with any of the vehicles. They make sure that whatever inventory markings that they have to do or anything else that they are checking, and then the vehicle will then depart from here, usually autonomously for the rest of the vehicles. But right now they're testing out this path. It'll come over to one of these lanes to enter into the end of line, and then normally they would wait for the doors to open, and then the vehicle would go inside for that final processing. But since they're just testing, they decided to turn around here, and they're going to drive all the way back along the roadway next to the end of line facility. And they're going to go back over to the exit point of the factory, and then they will do this again. So I think that they're just trying to get data on what the vehicles, the Cybercabs, will be encountering, what their route is, and just validating that right now, and also probably getting a sense for the timing that would be involved, and put that into all of their processes. All the Cybertrucks that are passing by are coming out of the Cyber Tunnel right there, and I thought that was a really iconic look of the Cybercab and Cyber Tunnel right next to each other. And then as we get closer to the south end here at the stoplight, our stop sign, we'll see more of the Model Ys coming from the factory. And then the Cybercab, since you cannot turn left here, will turn right. You'll follow that truck on the river road, and then it will come up and do a U-turn, and then it will go back to the factory for more of the testing. But anyway, pretty unique opportunity to show you what is going on with Cybercab testing here at the factory, as we are now well below 50 days until production begins. Now, this material staging yard continues to have items pushed more and more to the east. They're clearing out the west side, as you can tell. They're also doing some work next to all of these conduit risers that are going to be for lighting. And it looks like they are preparing all of this section to be that logistics yard, possibly to relocate the east warehouse on wheels here to clear up that side of the site for more construction. So we will see if that in fact is the case. In addition to all of that work, here at the old contractor parking lot, we can see that most of the markers have been picked up, and they were placed on the west side. We see that some of the gravel is being cleared, and some dirt is being brought in. You can tell with the darker tan color on top of the lighter color gravel. And all of the parking markers, the bumpers, kind of wooden parts, are stored off to the east here. Here's another large clearing section where they are removing a lot of the gravel on top of the dirt. This large dirt section also has been used for either storage of dirt or to acquire dirt for much of the site. There's not a lot of activity here, but I will take a tour off to the far west in a moment and show you where the dirt is coming from. I haven't gone to that part of the site in a long time. And if you aren't a strong follower of what I've been showing over time, you may have missed a certain part of Giga-Texas that is on the other side of the highway that you see at the top of the screen. So right now I'm going to be flying around this material staging yard. We've seen this a lot. There are some deliveries with the Conestoga trucks on the left by the workshops. Well, I'm just going to stay at this altitude, and we're going to fly along here because we've seen this close up, and I will come back here later because there is some things that I want to show you at this north end, particularly all of the work here on the grade, also the access onto the road that has been defined. You can see that work underway. There's also this large grouping of Model Ys. Now, what I think is going on is these are being used for testing for robotaxis. We have seen that before, and even though they are unmarked, that may be exactly what they are doing here. Now, when I was doing the direct delivery with my classmate and his wife later on in the day, we were able to see some of these that had been moved back over to the end of line. So very interesting. So while we're here, I'm going to bring the drone up to a higher altitude. We'll fly directly to the west over this nursery, which is kind of next to the housing complex. And I'm going to turn the drone around here, show you that we have crossed over Farm to Market 973, a good view straight across to where Giga-Texas is. Now, normally this is not part of Giga-Texas except for this section. And there's a small kind of an addition to the property that encompasses this part of the site, which is part of the old sand and gravel mine. This large hill is being used for dirt, and it's being loaded up, and it's being taken over for much of what we are seeing on the east side and several other parts of the site. Now, I think for right now, this is being used just as dirt kind of sourcing, but you can see there's work, tire tracks at the bottom next to all of the hills and into the valleys. And maybe at some point, besides using this for dirt extraction, we'll see this for some other construction. But as we cross back over 973, this is also part of Giga-Texas. And some of the dirt that is being extracted from that other site is being brought into here. Now, it's been a while since we've seen this area getting earthwork. And as you can tell, there is some dirt being brought in here, and there's several areas of clearing. This is a slightly lower grade than where we see all of the trucks at the bottom of the screen. So I'm watching to see what they do. Now, there's a couple of things that could be done, is they could be making this for more staging location for the trucks, or they may be using this to eventually stage the rest of the materials that are that far south area where we said that may be where the new logistics lot is going to be for maybe that movement of the East Warehouse on Wheels. And they'll be using this area up here for some of those materials. In fact, we see some of that here in this large field next to the racks for the castings. A lot of steel has been relocated from that south end here. So I think that is really giving a lot of credibility to what the permit said and what we're seeing on the site, that that's going to be a new logistics yard. Now we've crossed back over the highway. I'm going to need to maneuver the drone here so that we face back to the north along the west side. Take a look at this crane and loading platform, where a lot of materials are brought directly up from the ground to the third floor. And of course, that is supporting the structural pack and 4680 production here at the factory. So let's fly around to the northwest side, and we'll resume on the north part of the factory. A quick sense of the activity here on the north side, where we're over the casting in the racks. Also a lot along the east side and on this north side, especially with the paint stands for the bumpers. So what I'm going to do is fly up over the roof, kind of show you what's going on here with some of the ventilation systems that were added in both on the left and coming up here in the center, what these appear like as well. Also, I'm going to use this as an opportunity to just sort of reposition the drone to the east side of the factory, and we'll kind of bring it back down over the power lines and just show you some more of the activity here on the east side. Of course, we have more of the wooden crates next to that teal colored device on the side of the wall, and more of the items, some castings as well. A lot of these rack mounts are for Model Ys, and you will see that there are a lot of them here, and that is understandable with the number of Model Ys that are being built here. Also, some on the ground here are Cybercab castings. Some of them are the upper of the rear part of the assembly, and then the rest of them up on the north side are Cybertruck. So a good mix of all of the various products that are built here, at least for now, at Giga-Texas. So we cross over Tesla Road to show you what this material staging yard looks like. More of the fan enclosures for the chiller unit for Cortex 2, kind of staged here. That'll be installed a little bit later. So we go over the last remaining trailers. Here we also see a lot of vehicles parked. This is where they are relocating some of the contractor vehicles that used to be parked on that far southwest side that's being cleared up. Here's a good view of the south end of Cortex 2, some of the megapacks on the left-hand side of the screen that are being staged for installation, and also this kind of almost circular excavation set here on the south side. And there's like 3 distinct parts of this, so it'll be interesting to see what they end up doing. Now, as we get closer to the Megapack installations, there is a lot of changes here. So I'm going to fly along the parapet wall, looking down and showing you what these look like right now. The installed number here, I think, is getting close to about 120 to 130, on approximately that much. And then there's more that are staged nearby. But the thing I really want to show you is take a look at the asphalt that's been added and the stripes in the asphalt where more of the screw type piers are going to be added, and how far this is extending all the way to the north. You can actually see some screw type piers for the platforms and the transformers being installed, but this reaches almost all the way to the north side of the building. I'm curious to see if this asphalt section on the north side is going to be either a parking lot or if they're going to extend even more to bring the Megapacks all the way to this part of the site. I kind of think that's it because it has that retaining wall on the north side that's very similar to the south side, and the Megapacks are already all the way to that on the south side. But here's a great view of all of this work, the asphalt and those stripes that are in it for the screw type piers. And as I change the perspective here, I'll zoom in, and a great view of the work being done to install more of the screw type piers on the left of the screen, the platforms for the transformers and electronic equipment, and of course the crane that is sitting idle right now on the shoring, waiting for more of those piers and beams to be installed so they can start putting in more of the Megapacks. But this is a great zoomed in view of all of the Megapacks that have been installed so far, plus the ones stored on the right. And as I maneuver all the way around, we'll get a great sense of this installation and how much more along this west side they can add. We come in from the south to the north to the electrical switch yard, just show you some of the work that's been done. There's a new fence around this south side and those control trailers. And to me, it looks semi-temporary, so we'll see what happens with that. They're also working on the second transformer assembly, the third transformer slab and catch basin. The slabs for the footings for the A-frames have been made here on the south side. More of them have been poured here on this part of the site. And we see some more drilling of the CFA piers for the rest of the footings here on the north side. So continued progress with preparing the expansion of the electrical switch yard. So now I'm going to bring the drone up to a higher altitude. We'll fly up to the north. I just wanted to give a quick update of what is going on with these large fields. Now we've seen soil sample drilling done through here. They've removed all of the materials and broken up concrete that was stored in here. They've also mulched and removed almost all of the tree and shrub debris that was stored here, particularly in the dirt section. And now we're seeing some additional excavation work underway on the left-hand side of the screen. So this is definitely being prepared for some sort of large construction. We also see some of these tracks in the sand and gravel mine hills and valleys through here. They've been doing soil sampling through this area as well, so it would not surprise me if we see the two large fields connected with that being reclaimed at some point in the future. The rental equipment lot and maintenance facility is very busy today, and it looks like they are getting some sort of deliveries. In fact, that white truck with what looks like maybe some glass is going to be seen later on. Also, they are breaking up a lot of this concrete that used to be stored all the way through this section and putting it into the trucks and taking it over to the Lippmann crushers, which we will see in operation for the first time. Now, a lot of this concrete came from the south end of Giga-Texas before they started building the extension. And now with that and all of this concrete, they are finally getting rid of it all by crushing it. And you can see this conveyor with crushed up concrete and making that mound on the right-hand side of the screen. Also, next to some of the equipment on the left on the ground, we can see the rebar that was within the concrete is being sorted away. And we can also get a good sense of the crushing operation that is happening with all of this equipment. Now, I'll stay at a low altitude. I'll kind of pan the drone up, and this view shows you just the amount of concrete that they're going to have to break up to get all of this cleared off and prepared for maybe future construction. As we fly back towards this staging lot, we once again see all of the green transformers that will be installed on the west side of Cortex 2 in those areas where we saw the asphalt and the stripes, and also the screw type piers being installed. As we pass over the lift station and some of the remaining excavation work here, we'll get up to the northeast corner. We see deliveries still being made. Those are usually cabinets that are being brought inside. And then as I zoom in, this asphalt section is now being used for temporary storage of materials. So they probably did that just for mud mitigation. The Part 2 of the chiller unit is getting the north wall formed in now. The rest of the walls and supporting structures have been poured with concrete and the forms removed. This large clearing is being prepared possibly for some more asphalt. And we see next to this kind of transformer platform that they are putting in screw type piers throughout this section. So we may actually see some more megapacks installed here, which is a very interesting development. As we take a look at the part 1 of the chiller unit, this is a great view of some of the pipes, manifolds next to the building. Also, they're starting to put the slats in on the open sides of the structure. And of course, the 4 fans and fan enclosures are installed. We're waiting for the other 2 to be completed. The temporary chiller units on the trailers are here as well, and I think that's so that they can do the minimum essential capability stand-up of the Cortex 2 while they continue to build out the final infrastructure. Now, as we get towards this slab for the crash test dummy or the ATD lab, we can see that white truck on the left with that large package. It almost looks like glass, but it's hard to say for sure. Now, the work here is really progressing well. They have most of the rebar in. They have the form work, some of the cutouts in the middle, probably for an interior structure, and more. So hopefully we'll see some of the concrete being poured here very, very soon. Probably this week, I would guess. If we take a look at the vehicles along the west side of the crash test facility, we see that some more on the right-hand side have been crash tested. Also, a lot of the Cybercabs being stored here, some of which are underneath the covers. One last thing that I noticed, and I will come down and show you this, is this kind of black and white structure on the ground. That is the flying floor. That's what they put vehicles on and then pull it with the cables so that they can do either side impacts or rollover impact testing. And it's stored in that metal building to the north of the site. So I'll bring the drone all the way up to a higher altitude, give you a view of all of the areas that we visited today, and I hope that this plus the permit discussion and the intro was helpful and put us into context not only what we see, but what we can expect as we get further into 2026. As always, thank you very much for watching. I appreciate it, and have a great week.